What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at a new Diaboromon. There is a new Diaboromon that has gone and been revealed over on the official Japanese Twitter, and this is one that looks really fun indeed. I think this is one that we should be, well, quite frankly, just a little bit excited about. Now, the translation here comes from the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming, as well as the lovely folks over at DTCG Review. So, yeah, they agree. We like those people. When they agree, probably things we should be getting a little excited about. Also, I should mention, I've also got the translation from DigimonCard.dev along with any translated proxies we're using, so yeah, we seem pretty good at this point. Now, we've got a 12 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power Digimon. The 12 to play normally is slightly more expensive than we would expect, but nothing out of the ordinary here. We've seen this a million times. But we've got a security skill, which is awesome. At the end of the battle, you may play one Diaboromon token without playing its memory cost, and the usual deal here, it's a 6 white Digimon with a memory cost of 14, 3,000 power, Megaform, unidentified type, unknown attribute. We've seen Diaboromon tokens before, and this is brilliant. Now, there is another thing we'll get to in a minute. There's another skill, which is a really good reason to play this, but this is a security skill. So essentially, if it comes out as a security card, you don't play Diaboromon, but you do get to play a Diaboromon token, and that sounds pretty gosh darn good to me. This is something we can get very excited about, because Diaboromon love playing its tokens. It's what Diaboromon does. We saw this on Diaboromon right back in the early days in Booster 1.0 for us, and every time you attack, you play a token. And that's good. Now, it had a really, obvious over-the-top counter on Omnimon at the time, which really stopped it thriving. That's less of an issue nowadays. But it was always there, just kind of waiting to try and be good. And then BT5 came along. And when BT5 came along, that made things, well, quite a lot better, frankly. Because we had things like the new Diaboromon, that when you Digivolve, you may play a Diaboromon token, and an Arata Sonata that when you evolved into Diaboromon, you could play a Diaboromon token, both of which help. Infermon with a deletion skill that when you get deleted, you play a Diaboromon token, i.e. your Diaboromon goes down, but you get to play a Diaboromon token in its place, so it really doesn't matter at that stage. Things got pretty gosh darned good. Not to mention we got Armageddonmon, which said that level 7 Digimon don't activate their when Digivolving effects, which meant that Omnimon couldn't activate its when Digivolving effect, and when you combine the fact that that Omnimon was seeing a lot less play, with the fact that we had a super direct and obvious counter to it, it basically meant the Diaboromon was free to thrive. Diaboromon got an awful lot better, pretty much overnight. This whole Diaboromon thing just suddenly became really fun. And now we've got one more trick to use, because it comes out as a security and plays a token. Whereas the other Diaboromon, when they come out as security cards, yeah, you just have a security battle, that's it. Oh yeah, but there is another skill which is phenomenal. On your opponent's turn, all of your Diaboromon gain blocker. Now, one thing that must be borne in mind here, and this is extremely important, Diaboromon tokens, when they're in play, are just Diaboromon. Sure, they've only got 3,000 power and that's very low, but generally speaking, they are just Diaboromon. So when we've got something like this that says all your Diaboromon gain blocker, that includes all of your Diaboromon tokens, which is clearly a wonderful, wonderful thing. But it also opens up a very, very obvious combo. I know I am not the only person that's pointed this combo out, but we need to talk about Craniumon here. Because Craniumon has a skill that says on both players' turns, all of your Digimon with blocker cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. They can still be deleted in a battle, but they cannot be deleted by your opponent's card effects. Yep. And we've just given all of our Diaboromon tokens blocker. Which means all of our Diaboromon tokens gain the protection from Craniummon here. So, and now we don't even need to have Armageddonmon anymore, although we absolutely can, because Armageddonmon gives protection from those skills, but Craniummon also gives protection from those skills. Now, admittedly, Armageddonmon will stop Omnimon getting any Digimon, not just Diaboromon. Craniummon will only stop your blockers being affected, which generally will be a Diaboromon. But that's not the point here. The point is, it gives you another option. And of course, if we're playing Diaboromon, we're playing a black and white deck. And Craniummon is a lovely black level 6 Digimon, which means it's going to fit very, very nicely into the evolution line you're already playing, as well as giving you a 12,000 power blocker, just in case you didn't have enough blockers anyway. And this is absolutely phenomenal, because there are plenty of things that your opponent can try and do to wipe the board when you've got just a whole bunch of these out. When you are able to flood the board with Diaboromon tokens, which in some games works beautifully, in other games becomes very difficult, what you don't want is your opponent playing a Volcanic Dramon. Deletes all of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 power or less, and unfortunately, your Diaboromon tokens have 4,000 power. Or less. They got 3,000 power. So my point here is that there are plenty of counters. And the thing is, things like Volcanic Dramon aren't being played as Diaboromon counters. They're being played as Rookie Rush counters. It just so happens that they become really good as Diaboromon token counters as well. So stop them. And that's what we're doing beautifully here. It means that all of those things that your opponent would be able to do to try and sweep all of your tokens away at the same time, which has clearly got to be the goal. Like, when these Diaboromon decks really get rolling, they can play many tokens in quick succession. You don't want them to do that. The goal has got to be to try and stop these tokens, and that's what you can do so beautifully with Craniummon here, and that's kind of my point. This is why I love it so gosh darned much. And I know it's a very obvious combo, and I don't even really care, because it has got to be the combo. I don't see why you would play this kind of deck and not play Craniummon. Your aim here is to just swarm the field full of blockers, or full of Diaboromon, and then, of course, they turn into a field full of blockers, and then we've got this phenomenal card which will protect all of your blockers. Like, this writes itself, ladies and gentlemen. It absolutely writes itself. I like this. And I've been waiting for Diaboromon to be a top-tier deck. I've seen winning Diaboromon lists. I have seen plenty of Diaboromon lists doing fine. Doing well, even. But Diaboromon's not yet become a top-tier deck. And maybe it's too awkward. Maybe there are too many things I'm asking for all at the same time. Maybe having to have that specific tamer and having deletion skills on Infirmon, and you've got your evolving Diaboromon and your attacking Diaboromon, and maybe it's all too much. But we've just added in a security Diaboromon, which will play tokens, which is cool. And now we're giving them all blocker, and we're opening up that phenomenal combo with Craniummon. There's got to come a point, I think at least, there has got to come a point where we've added in so many extra tricks for Diaboromon that we actually have to turn around and go, oh, maybe this has just become a top tier deck. Maybe this is really good now. I certainly hope that's the case. I kind of want to give this 5 Wassies. And I've gotten very excited about Diaboromon in the past, only for it to not be as good as we had hoped. But I cannot help but look at this and go, you know what? That looks really good. That looks really good. Oh yeah, while we're here, they've also gone and shown off the special art as well, the alternate art, the secret art, call it what you will. This was on the screen at the front of the video so you could have a nice little gander at it. It looks far more like one of the old cards. Remember EX-01, the whole point is they're using retro art. This is like super duper retro art, so it's not one of the alternate arts I'm most excited about, but if you are, yay! It's here, and you can get excited about it. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this, and whether you think Diaboromon can finally be a top-tier deck, so let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.